Rachel Zegler's press tour for Snow White is already being described as the biggest PR disaster of the decade, and it seems like Rachel might be choking on her words now, after rambling about how bad the original Snow White plot was in so many interviews. Rachel has been on the radar of trolls and she's been receiving threats to leave the movie.
Does this mean that it's no longer 1937 and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince?
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
And now that the news about her replacement in the movie has gone viral, Rachel is furious and has said some pretty shocking things. So here's all we know about it. The sarcastic rant on making Snow White Gen Z appropriate has backfired on Rachel Zegler because of the OG Disney fans, and they're not happy with it. But this isn't the only controversy circling around this movie. Even when the casting of Snow White was revealed, people pointed out that Rachel was a Latina and not as white as Snow. So people felt a little put off, but it wasn't a deal breaker. However, things went south when Rachel Zegler, the lead, gave a couple of interviews and said all kinds of smack about the original Snow White, from calling Prince Charming a stalker to completely changing her character arc.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
And what comes next is even worse news, because Disney went on and signed their politically correct individuals as dwarfs. So the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, there's just one actual dwarf, Dylan Postal, a famous actor who also has shown his frustration about this casting.
Well, you know the
these
irony.
were heroes.
The
all
irony.
of these dwarves, all of these dwarves took care of Snow White.
Right.
They all had characteristics, separate characteristics. They weren't these cave-dwelling monsters that people speak of. They all had 7 different characteristics for 7 different actors that from my community, and I don't feel it's right that got taken.
But the biggest nail in the coffin of the new Snow White movie are the interviews of Rachel Zegler, because fans now think that the woman playing Snow White actually hates Snow White. Disney has been receiving some major backlash about this, and things have gotten so bad that they had to make major changes to the movie and even extend its release by an entire year. Disney is also being labeled woke, and they've lost a lot of money on their last few projects, and considering how big of a production Snow White is, they definitely don't want to lose money on this one. Also, Disney doesn't work with stars who have a bad rep, or who garner a lot of bad publicity, so reports are that they've already started looking for Rachel Zegler's replacement, and she's definitely not happy about it. Disney is also making some changes in the dwarfs and are making things worse, because instead of hiring actual dwarf actors, they're planning on doing it entirely through CGI. Well, Disney isn't learning from its mistakes anytime soon. Also, according to some reports, Disney was thinking about replacing Zegler with either Jenna Ortega or Lucy Hale. Both of these actresses would definitely be happy to accept this role because it's an iconic character. However, Rachel Zegler thought that Snow White was shown as a damsel in distress, and it wasn't the right representation for the youth. And the moment she said it, she started receiving so much backlash and threats that Rachel had to address it all on the internet.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
And as the matter settled down and people forgot about Rachel Zegler and her thoughts about Snow White, Disney started to find her replacement, and that's when she snapped. According to insiders, Rachel Zegler is not happy with being replaced, and she allegedly could even sue Disney if they fire her based on the public backlash. But Disney can't let this movie sink just to push its woke narrative, because they've put too much money into it and have reportedly lost hundreds of millions of dollars in the last few years. So we could hear about Rachel Zegler being replaced in a few months, but people also want to see someone who actually resembles the character of Snow White. The name itself means as white as snow, so Disney better not play the fans this time. However, some recent reports also suggest that Rachel Zegler was spotted wearing Snow White costumes on multiple occasions. So it seems like Disney is still sitting on the idea of replacing her and aren't ready for yet another PR disaster. So, do you think Rachel Zegler could still make it to the big screen as Snow White? Drop Drop a comment and let us know. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for the latest celebrity tea and gossip. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thanks for watching.